Alright guys, so let me change the settings real quick because that's really loud. Uh, so Connor is back. He's making his return tonight, UFC 257. Um, the co-main event is Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler in his UFC debut. So those are the two fights I really want to talk about. Obviously, Michael Chandler, big hype coming in. It was not really the same with Ben Askren. I feel like Chandler has more hype around him. Uh, but that being said, I really don't think he's going to do all that well either. Now, obviously, in Bellator, but Bellator is a different story, I believe. Top tier competition is in ONE and UFC. Bellator, don't get me wrong, Bellator has some good fighters, of course, as does any promotion, but um, I just don't see, like, striking wise, Hooker has him beat for sure. And that's really the only thing. Can Chandler take Hooker down? I don't know if he can. So that's my only concern with that. Honestly, I think Hooker gets the job done. Um, whether that be by knockout or decision, I I'm think I'm gonna take Hooker by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chandler won. But uh, I think Hooker's gonna get it done for sure. And obviously, the main event you have the return of Connor versus Dustin Poirier. Connor predicts inside the first 60 seconds. And I mean, I don't blame him. The first time I'm gonna turn that, it still sounds really loud. I don't know, maybe it's different for you guys, but the first time that Connor fought Dustin, obviously Connor smoked him, right? So it'll be interesting for sure to see what happens this time around. Dustin seems more he doesn't seem not focused. I don't want to say he doesn't seem focused, but he seems almost worried. You know what I mean? Like he's not himself. I don't know. A lot of other people have noticed too, especially in the press conference. He just looks uncomfortable. I don't know if that's because Connor's just so motivated, so humble, like nice guy. That's another thing. A lot of people are upset that Connor's not trash talking all the time. That's not what the fight game's about. When you fight for a living, you're not trying to trash talk your opponent 24/7. There's supposed to be a mutual respect between you and your opponent, right? And that's simply because you're both willing to make the walk to step in the octagon and to beat the shit out of each other. That's what it is at the end of the day. You're not enemies. You're just two guys trying to make a living. Especially Dustin and Connor. They want to make sure their kids are okay, right? So they want to make sure their families are gonna be okay. They want to make sure they're gonna be set for life. So it's not anything personal with Connor and Dustin, especially because Connor donated to his charity. Dustin's gave him some hot sauce. Connor's gave him some proper. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no personal blood here, so it's not. There's nothing bad about this rivalry. And for people saying, "Oh, it's terrible because Connor isn't trash talking," you have no idea what you're talking about. Just stop. So, with that said, I do think Connor gets it done. I do think he's gonna overwhelm Dustin for sure. Ooh, nice trip there by Dustin. I do think uh, that Connor is gonna get it done. Now he predicts inside the first um, 60 seconds, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I really want to see what Connor does because he said over and over again, and he's even told Dustin, and he's told the media, "I'm gonna bring out an onslaught in the first. If he can survive that, then we'll see." So that's what's got me curious. What the hell is Connor gonna bring out in the first 60 seconds? Right? Or is that just a little mental warfare? Maybe Dustin's expecting it. He has his guard high up, and then Connor, doesn't do anything, and he shoots somewhere else. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens for sure, but we'll see. We'll see. My prediction: Conor gets the job done by knockout. Um, First round, honestly. 60 seconds, I think it's pushed it a little bit, Conor, but you never know. You never know with Conor. Because he could go 5 rounds. He could knock you out inside 40 seconds like he did Cowboy. You don't know. That's what I love about Conor, the unpredictability. You want to go 5 rounds? He can take you 5 rounds. His cardio is not as bad as everyone thinks. His cardio is perfectly fine. There is no problem with his cardio whatsoever. The one time he gassed out, he went from featherweight to welterweight. That's 2 weight classes. And people are like, oh, he gassed out, he gassed out. Yeah, anyone would gas out. What the hell? So, I think Conor first round for sure. But we'll have to see, man. If Dustin can pull this off, that would be crazy. That would kill the hype for Conor and Khabib, I feel. I mean, obviously the hype would still be there because it's Conor and Khabib, and you know, aside from John Jones and Daniel Cormier, what bigger rivalry has the UFC had? Arguably, Conor and Khabib is bigger than Jones and Cormier. So it's crazy, man. If Dustin can pull this off, he's obviously gonna get the next title shot. But I just don't see how. Conor's just too good, man. Conor is too good. There's nothing that Dustin has shown me in the last couple fights. His fight against Khabib and his fight against Hooker. There's nothing. He hasn't shown me anything that tells me he can beat Conor, and that's what's scary. Oh well, I guess that's the end of the video. Um, but no, I feel like Dustin, he's shown nothing, especially against Hooker. Didn't really show a whole lot. I thought Hooker won a couple of rounds in there. Didn't really show me a whole lot, and obviously Khabib mauled him. So I don't know, man. He hasn't shown me a whole lot. Honestly, I think it's gonna go the same way as the first fight did. I think Conor's just gonna be too much for him. He's gonna pressure Dustin against the cage. He's gonna pick his shots, body to the legs maybe, but especially to the body. I think Conor's gonna use those side kicks. I think he's gonna look for that left hook early, and I just think Conor's gonna overwhelm him. Dustin's gonna be just he's not gonna know what to do, man. I think without a shadow of a doubt, Conor gets it done inside one, and if he doesn't get it done inside round one, it's gonna be round two for sure. Um, yeah, I just don't see a scenario where Dustin wins. Honestly, Dustin's a great fighter. Like Conor said, Dustin is a great fighter, but Conor's just so superior in the striking. And Dustin won't want to wrestle. Dustin doesn't wrestle people, so it's a stand-up war. It's a striking war. Conor wins every time, man. Conor wins every time. And that's not to say Dustin isn't a bad fighter. He's just a bad matchup for Conor's just too much for him. That's what it is at the end of the day. So I have Hooker and I have Conor for tonight's co-main and main events.